Hey there everyone, my name's Fam, and this is my attempt at a hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemon SoulSilver using only water-type Pokemon. You can find the full rule set below, but the major ones are: you can only catch the first water type in each route. If a Pokemon faints, it must be boxed. My Pokemon can't surpass the next gym leader's ace prior to the battle. No items in battle. And lastly, the battle mode will be played on set. The water type is the most abundant type of Pokemon. With the release of Silver and Gold came some of my favorites like Politoed and Lantern. This gave me a lot of incentive to try this run, as I will get to use some awesome Pokemon in my favorite region. Now trust me, Johto is by no means the ideal region, but with the addition of Pokemon sprites following you and SoulSilver and Heart Gold, I just knew this had to be my next run. So without further ado, let's get started. We wake up and head down the stairs. Mommy, sorry. Mommy, sorry. Mommy? Mom gives us our backpack. We head outside and get hit by a Play Rough from Lyra's Meryl. Thankfully, it has the thick fat ability and not huge power, or that could have left a mark. We head to the professor's lab and pick our starter, which of course is Totodile, as he's the only water type of the three. We name him Jaws. Jaws has the jolly nature, which honestly is incredible. On our way out of the lab, we're stopped by an old man who offers us a potion. We can't use those, man. We head outside and try to leave town, forgetting we were 10 years old. Guess we should tell Mom we are heading out. Finally, we go to leave town, but Elm insists we take down his number. Reaching Cherry Grove, we chase down another old man. Seriously, why are there so many old men giving us things? I mean, this man literally gives us the shoes off his feet. We start to leave Cherry Grove and oh my gosh, seriously dude, the old man stops us again. Like, come on, we get it, we are awesome. We head north, and okay, why was this okay? A man watching us from his house comes out to lecture us because we passed by a stranger's house? He then gives us his box? Anyways, we run north and run into two youngsters. Hey, have you guys been stopped by 6 adult men as well, or just me? He tells us just to get lost. The horror. We finally reach Mr. Pokemon's house and Oak checks out our Jaws, then forces his number into our Pokegear as well. At least Mr. Pokemon only gave us an egg. On our way back to the lab, we run into someone our own age. At least maybe we can make a friend. Turns out this boy is traumatized, so he throws out his Chikorita, which, might I say, is far too jolly for this boy. Anyways, Jaws takes out his rage on him. The boy then shoves us and is distraught, drops all his belongings. And I gotta say, it's nice to know that our mom isn't the only one who signs our name onto our underwear. We make it back to the lab with our mystery egg intact. The police then accuse us. Like, Elm, seriously? Are those glasses even prescription? Help a kid out here. Lyra comes running up. My god, why are the children the only smart people in this game? We then tell everyone that Brody's mom put his name on his underwear. With our new father's permission, we set out to tackle the Pokemon Gym Challenge. We head towards the first gym and decide to stop and pick on those kids who told us to get lost earlier. After a devastating defeat, Joey asks for our number, and we tell him no! What a loser! We arrive in Violet City, where if we head south during the nighttime to Route 32, we can get our next encounter, a Whoopie Boy. We catch him, name him Randall. Randall has the naughty nature. How fitting. We make our way up Bellsprout Tower, finally getting revenge on some of the old people in this region, to find out Brody is also on his revenge arc and taking back his innocence. We beat the elder of all old men and fly off to take on the first gym. We take on Falconer and his daddy's precious birds. Leading off with Jaws, we sink our teeth into his Pidgey, who hits us back with a tackle, and then finish him off with Rage. Next up is Pidgeotto, who can be a real hassle. We take a Gust, building up our Rage, then hit him with a Bite. We go for Leer after taking another Gust, planning on killing him with one more Bite, but he goes for Roost, restoring his HP. We hit the Bite, bringing him down over half, and then after taking another Gust, we finish him off with another Bite. 1 badge down. With our newly acquired badge in hand, we can head south and pick up the Goldenrod, which allows us to get a couple new encounters. The thing is here, we can actually guarantee ourselves a Poliwag in Violet City if we fish for a Magikarp first on another route. So we head into Union Cave and do just that. We thankfully hit the 95% to reel in Magikarp, 5% chance to get Goldeen. Catch him and name him Leviathan. Leviathan has a mild nature, plus special attack, minus defense. Not the greatest, but I'm sure we can make it work. Next up, we go back to Violet City and catch Poliwag. We name him Pepe. Pepe has a mild nature as well, plus special attack, minus defense. We reach the next city, follow another old man down a well, and catch our next Pokemon. A Slowpoke named Paul, who has a relaxed nature. Another fitting nature. With our new friends in hand, we go ahead and take on the second gym leader, Bugsy, who, I have to say, I am terrified of. Scyther starts off the battle by hitting Jaws hard with a U-turn. tried to hit him with a rock tomb, but he switched into Metapod. I swap into Paul and decide to try and set up curses against Metapod, as its only attacking move is Tackle, which does nothing to us. After setting up 6 curses for the defense boost, we take out Metapod. Sadly, Paul doesn't have any physical attacks, but with our defense boosted, the Scyther tries to lower it as we hit him with a Confusion. Realizing how little damage we do, I go for the Yawn to put him to sleep and start using Water Gun. I then go for another curse here, since he had lowered our defense. After a few turns of sleep, we get Scyther down to a Citrus Berry. Predicting the wake up, we go for another Yawn. A few turns later, and he hits us with a crit quick attack, so we switch into Jaws after using Yawn again. Jaws comes out and gets crit down to 5 HP before Scyther falls asleep. We then finish him off with a Rock Tomb. That was a close one. We switch into Randall, who deals with her final Pokemon Kakuna. Wow, that was a tough one, but the whole team came up clutch in that one. Following the gym battle, Jaws evolves, and I must say, this is probably the most well-earned evolution in all my years playing Pokemon. We run into our rival again, who's pretty much a pushover for Paul and Jaws combined. After a much-needed break playing in the forest with some Farfetch'd, we make our way through the woods, where we meet a guy who teaches literally all of our Pokemon how to headbutt. This guy must have a head of steel. While making our way towards Goldenrod, we end up reeling in a Krabby. We catch him, name him Mr. Krabs, and ruin the economy of Bikini Bottom. Heading to the radio tower, we channel our inner young Sheldon, pass the radio quiz first try. Meanwhile, Whitney can't even get the 3rd question right. I mean, apricots, seriously? With Whitney finally realizing she will never be able to get the 3rd question right, even though it only has 2 options and you can take the quiz as many times as you want, we challenge her to a battle. We lead the battle with Paul and plan on setting up some curses against the Clefairy, hoping for good metronome luck. After getting her to sleep with Yawn, we set up 6 curses, then go for Headbutt, finishing him off and reaching level 20. With our plus 6 attack and defense, Whitney's notorious Meltang should be no problem. We take a laughable amount of damage to Stomp, then 2-shot with Headbutt. After whining like a little Whitney finally gives us the badge. We head to Ekritique, talk to Bill at the Pokemon Center, then head back to Goldenrod and pick up an Eevee from Bill. We name her Rainer, then go participate in the Pokeathlon, which is really hard on my DS, and buy a Water Stone. We then immediately use it to get ourselves a Vaporeon. While doing some training for the next gym, Randall reaches level 20 and evolved into a monstrosity. Gross! I want my Whoopie boy back! Next up, we take on Brody again in the Burnt Tower, but make quick work of him with our newly acquired Quagmire and Ice Fang that Jaws learned. We then don't fall down a hole, and instead climb the ladder to watch a beautiful water type dance around and then run away from us. Man, it would have been amazing to get a Suicune right here. After what feels like an eternity, we finally get Leviathan to level 20, he evolves into Gyarados, getting Bite, which will be super useful in the upcoming gym. Taking a quick detour, we decide to pick up the good rod in Olivine City. After upgrading our rod from old to good, we take on Marty and his spooky ghost. Leviathan comes out and one-shots the first gas. Then, thankfully dodging Hypnosis from Gengar, we hit a Bite that does over half. It looks like another could kill after his Citrus, but it doesn't. Morty uses the next turn to heal with a Hyper Potion, and Gengar goes down to a couple more bites after hitting us with a Sucker Punch. Morty's last 2 Pokemon go down to a bite each. Looking back, I should have banned Gyarados earlier, but I do before the Elite Four. With the 4th badge in hand, we can do some surfing and go around catching some cool new Pokemon for the team. First up, we head back to Slowpoke Well and receive the King's Rock from a dude. We then get Pepe to level 25, evolving him into a Poliwhirl, and finally, we trade Pepe to my friend Brad while he's holding the King's Rock and get ourselves a Politoed. Look how happy the man is. Politoed has to be one of my favorite Gen 2 Pokemon. We catch ourselves some backup Pokemon like Squidward, Patrick, and Magic Conch. Turns out all the SpongeBob characters are just great supporting cast, as we haven't even used Mr. Krabs yet. And grab the TM for Charge Beam. On Friday, we catch ourselves the elusive Lapras, named Nessie. Nessie has a calm nature, which is perfect. Now, upon beating the Elite Four, I do realize this was an illegal encounter, as we already caught Magikarp in Union Cave. We go play quite possibly the worst game of all time, and reach 30,000 coins in order to buy a couple Ice Beam TMs, as well as the TM for Thunderbolt, which will be important for a future teammate. We go ahead and teach Ice Beam to our new best buddy, Pepe. Climb the lighthouse to find a beautiful beacon of hope, and a sick Ampharos. At the request of our new love, we head to Cyanwood to grab some medicine and take on the next gym leader, Chuck. On the way, Jaws hits level 30 and evolves into a Beast Leaf for Alligator. We challenge gym leader Chuck, and let's say, I thought this would be a lot easier. We lead Randall against his Primate, which goes for a double team immediately as we miss our first Surf. It continues to double team, and we connect this time with Surf. He then switches into Poliwrath, which absorbs our Surf. I swap into Leviathan to get an Intimidate off, and he hits us with a Focus Punch. We then hit him with a Dragon Rage and take a Body Slam that paralyzes. I switch in Jaws to cycle Intimidate, who also gets paralyzed by Body Slam. Oh no. We get Leviathan back in and eat up a couple Surfs, then get paralyzed, so I'm forced to switch. I throw at Pepe and he absorbs the incoming Surf. We then get hit by a Body Slam and I accidentally click Surf, healing the Poliwrath. We then take a critical hit Body Slam down to 4 HP and put him to sleep. We switch in Randall while Poliwrath stays asleep. Here I decide my best bet is to try and get some flinches with Headbutt if he does wake up. We get him low enough that his Citrus Berry activates, then actually get the flinch as he wakes up. Randall then hits a few more Headbutts to finish him off. He lives at 1 HP and Chuck Hyper Potions. He then keeps trying to go for Focus Punch, but Randall gives him a good headbutt and breaks his focus. This continues until we take Poliwrath down. Primeape comes back in at half health and immediately starts double teaming. Randall connects with Surf though, and again they live on 1 HP, then gets healed by a Hyper Potion. My word. I decide Randall is my best bet as the other members are quite low or paralyzed, so I stay in and hit another Surf. And another, putting Primeape in the red. We then miss Surf and take a Focus Punch, bringing us to 33 HP. Here I decide to switch in Leviathan for the Intimidate, and thanks to resisting Focus Punch, we can live on 6 HP. With his attack lowered, I think Paul should be able to finish him off, and thankfully, Paul continues to be a beast and hits Surf, finishing off the Primeape. Holy cow, I thought this was going to be one of the easier badges. We regain our focus and head over to the lighthouse to give Amphi the meds that we picked up. Right? Oh my. Our mom calls us, but we completely ignore her to go get some drugs. Now we actually head to the lighthouse and give Amphi the meds who, oh my god, my eyes, it's so bright! After being flashed by the opposite member we wanted to in the lighthouse, we take on the 6th gym leader, Jasmine. Since the level cap for the 7th gym is lower than this gym, I decide to enter the fight with Randall at level 33. We use Mudshot to take out the first Magnemite, then use a combination of Surf and Mudshot to take out Steelix, after its Citrus Berry healed. Then one more Mudshot and we claim the 6th badge. I can't tell you how nice it was to have an easy battle after the shenanigans of Chuck's gym. We head back towards Route 47 to check out the Safari Zone, but since you have to catch a Geodude as the first Pokemon, it's useless to us. However, we do fish up a Chinchou and name it Bulb. Bulb has the naive nature, plus special defense, minus speed. We make our way to Lake of Rage, where we fight a red Gyarados. I think my game might be corrupted, so I just kill it off with Bulb and Jaws to get the red scale. I hope my game never breaks like that again. I also head up north, then for some reason stop the recording before I pick up the choice specs, which will be really important later on. We bust into a radio station where Lance just murders this dude in front of us. I mean seriously, he just Hyper Beamed that guy. Thank God this is Gen 4 and Hyper Beam uses Dragonite's special attack, or that man would be in a coma. As Blaine would say, better have Burn Heal. Making our way through, we fight off against Petrel, who is rather simple, and Nessie handles with Surf. Afterwards, we decide to chase down a Murkrow because it says, Hail Giovanni. Hail Giovanni. Oh lord, not this again. I put Pepe in the lead, who just skips along as we chase down the Murkrow, but then are ambushed by Admin Ariana and a Rocket Grunt. Lance comes to save us, but honestly, with 99% of our Pokemon knowing Surf, we didn't need him. Afterwards, Jaws knocks out the Electrodes, saving these guys from a massive electricity bill. While making our way through the gym trainers, Bulb reaches level 27 and evolves into my favorite Pokemon of all time, Lantern. I mean, just look at those goggles and that smile. What a happy little fish. Bryce leads with Seal, and we send out Lantern, who goes for a stockpile as Seal just sets up the hail. My strategy for this gym is to get a couple stockpiles to raise our defense, then go for Charge Beam, as it has a 70% chance to raise our special attack, which we get on the first and second try. Now at +2, we can one-shot the incoming Piloswine, and after a bunch of healing through rest and potions, Bulb takes down his final Dugong, all while 4 levels under the cap. Bulb is awesome. Before we make our way to the final gym, we have to go through a bunch of Team Rocket stuff. We throw him some Team Rocket clothes and got called out by our rival. But I mean, how could none of them tell? We're the only one wearing a backwards hat and allowing a Pokemon to follow us. Some people though. We once again put Petrel into the Undertow to receive the basement key. Headed into the basement, we get challenged by our rival, who has massively improved his team. We start off with Jaws, who gets confused after setting up an agility. Then, we avoid hitting ourselves, but miss the Ice Fang. Snapping out the next turn, we hit Golbat hard with Ice Fang, and finish him off the next turn with Ice Fang. In comes Meganium, who is still too jolly for this man. After Jaws hits an Ice Fang, doing way less than I thought it would, he retaliates with a Petal Dance, which puts us down to 2 HP. Holy, that was close. Knowing he is locked into Petal Dance, I switch in Leviathan, who is at least neutral to it. He then gets confused and misses Poison Powder on us. We go for Bite, followed up by Dragon Rage as Brody switches into Magnemite, which goes down to another Dragon Rage. Meganium comes back in and we finish it off with a Dragon Rage. Next up is Haunter, who puts a curse on us, then goes down to a Bite. We switch out into Randall to finish off his final Pokemon, Sneasel. I could have been horrible losing Jaws. We save everyone in the basement, make our way to the top of the tower, and pull Archer into the Undertow as well. Not much occurs until we reach the 8th gym leader, Claire. Claire leads off with Gyarados, so we start with Pepe, who's wearing some nice choice specs. We let loose a couple Ice Beams while taking 2 Dragon Rages. On the second one, we get the Freeze, so I go for another as Claire just heals. After 2 more Ice Beams, Gyarados goes down, and Claire sends out a Dragonair, followed by another Dragonair. We both go down to 1 Ice Beam. Out comes her ace, and I'm nervous, as this Kingdra can do some massive work to our team, and any critical Dragon Pulses will most likely kill. I switch into Jaws, who takes a lot of damage from Dragon Pulse. We then get our accuracy lowered and miss our first attack. I stay in and go for another Crunch, but get hit to 28 HP by another Dragon Pulse. Next up we switch in Leviathan, who takes a Hydro Pump fairly well. Kingdra hits a Dragon Pulse, putting us in the red, but we get the freeze on our Ice Fang. I switch into Nessie, but Claire gets the first turn Thaw and hits a big Dragon Pulse. We stay in and get off a Perish Song, then go for Protect to kill a turn. Next up we switch into Randall, who takes Dragon Pulse well and finishes the fight with a Protect as the Kingdra succumbs to Nessie's beautiful song. We got pretty lucky there, as any crits could have ended our run. Claire refuses to give us the badge, so we go prove that we treat Pokemon well. I mean, come on Claire, you couldn't have just looked at the smile on Bulb and Pepe? At least this old man recognizes their cuteness. Before we get to challenge the Elite Four, we go clap some kimono girls who give us the title bell, allowing us to summon the non-water type Guardian of the Sea. Like what? Sir, don't get too excited. We embrace our inner white girl and do a TikTok dance, causing Lugia to part the sea just like Moses. We then go show him who the true Guardian of the Sea is, Pepe with some nice specs on. We make our way through Victory Road and destroy our rival, who must have been weak from beating all the other trainers. Yeah, let's go with that. Anyways, time for E4 training. After what feels like an eternity, Paul finally gets to evolve into Slowbro. Go Paul! I set Jaws to the level cap of 47 and leave everyone else at 45 as we head into the E4. Our final challenge. Let's see if this team has what it takes. So the E4 in this game is rather lame and setup moves are super broken. We lead Jaws, for some reason go for Crunch on Xatu twice. Then Jaws finally decides he wants to be TikTok famous and uses Sword Stance. Then proceeds to Crunch Xatu, and as DJ Khaled would say, another one, as we crunch the remaining Pokemon Will has. On to the next one. Next up is Koga, and since Jaws went viral for his last Sword Stance, he decides to do it again for his 2021 most viral video, and proceeds to sweep Koga's team, one-shotting everyone except for Fortress. Jaws gets his first hater as we take on Bruno, who is not a fan of his dancing. However, Jaws isn't swayed. He goes viral again, dancing with swords, as he just keeps doing it and proceeds to murder all of Bruno's Pokemon who try and fight him. The Drama Kids finally getting their chance over the Jocks. Next up is Karen, who changes her hair color right in front of us. Like seriously, is that the same color? You can probably imagine the strategy here. Jaws goes for Sword Stance, as Umbreon goes for Double Team. It's a dance-off. Here, when Karen heals, I should have went for a second Sword Stance, as I knew Waterfall wasn't a one-shot. But she then switches into Vileplume, who takes over half her Waterfall and goes down the following turn to an Ice Fang. Then from here, it's just super effective attacks for one hits until Umbreon comes back out and goes down to 2 Waterfalls. Finally, the champion. We've made it. We've gone deathless so far, and we're up against our final opponent. Daddy, sorry. Daddy, sorry. Daddy. I decide that sweeping with Jaws would be kind of lame, so I decide to lead him into the Intimidate instead of just yawning Gyarados with Paul, and switching into Jaws to get the +6. I still go for Sword Stance to get the +3, and let off a Crunch that puts Gyara into the yellow, and set up another Sword Stance thinking he will heal, but he doesn't. So I finish him off with another Crunch. He sends in Dragonite. I assumed the Thunder one, so I don't want to switch anyone into that and KO with Ice Fang. I then Ice Fang down his next Dragonite. Aerodactyl comes in, and I switch into Bulb, not wanting to get outsped and killed by Thunder Fang. Bulb then takes a Rock Slide and shoots back a Thunderbolt. Rock Slide did about 90 damage, so I decide to click T-Bolt again, thinking Lance will heal, which he does. I then go for Thunderbolt as he heals again. I finish him off with Thunderbolt as my Citrus brings me back up to 57 HP. Lance has 2 Pokemon left and his final Dragonite comes in, to level 50. I switch into Paul, my most defensive Pokemon, who takes an Outrage. That does way over half. I let Paul go down here, not wanting to switch anything into an Outrage, and get the safe switch into Nessie. Nessie has Ice Beam, so I go for that as he lets off another Outrage that does 100 damage. A crit would have surely ended the run here. without some confusion luck. Last but not least is Charizard, who just goes down to a combination of Surf and Waterfall from Nessie and Randall, respectively. That's it, we have done it. We managed to beat a Pokemon SoulSilver Hardcore Nuzlocke using only water types, and Jaws became TikTok famous along the way. If you made it this far, feel free to subscribe to keep up with any further challenges, and consider liking or commenting down below what type of challenges you'd like to see in the future. I've been FarOutFam, and remember, smiles go for miles.